How are you? How are you doing? I hope you're having a great day and you hope you had a great weekend. And happy July 4th to all my Americans out there. I hope you had a safe weekend and you're doing well and you're ready for a really good weekly download because today we're going to talk about something that a lot of creatives go through. And it's not about business, it's not about how to get more clients or even how to shoot with a DSLR camera and the best lenses to use. It's all about creative ruts. And we've all been there. As a creative, as an artist, as a filmmaker, and a videographer, getting into a creative rut is something that we experience whenever we're either bored at a project or we're just not feeling it one day, we're tired, or sometimes it just happens when you are coming up with a new idea for a client and you're trying to figure out what's that innovative commercial that you want to create for this new brand. And getting in a creative rut, everyone experiences it. And it's something that I have been studying for the past year by interviewing today's top creative professionals from my podcast, Creative Haven. And I've interviewed 100 and I keep going. I have so many different types of marketers, advertisers, to filmmakers, to musicians, to artists and photographers. And I've always asked a question: how do you get into your flow state? And the reason why I've asked this is because ultimately I want people to be able to be creative and also be very proud of their creativity and be able to create all day. But you can't create all day if you aren't feeling it. And so I wanted to figure out how can we always have that creative spark brewing inside of us, or even if we're not feeling it that day, it's okay for us not to be working that day. There's different philosophies to this. So today we're going to talk about how to get out of creative ruts so that you can either come to set and you're tired, it's the fourth day of your shoot, you didn't get any sleep, you're getting annoyed with your crew, your actors, and you're trying to execute the project, or you're switching between two or three or four clients and you have to come up with a new creative brief or a treatment or a mood board for a client and you're just not getting the ideas that you want or the spark that you need to come up with those amazing ideas. And so for me, what I've learned is that you really have to do something else or watch something else or listen to something else that's outside of video, marketing, advertising, or films. And so rather than just watching more films to continue writing your script about films or a film, go dance, right? Go on a hike, go paint, right? Play the guitar. Do something creative that's outside of your main creative medium or whatever you're doing at that moment. And I found that if you're able to do things outside of whatever that you're working on, whether it's creating a video marketing campaign, or you are writing a script for a feature film, or you're even an actor trying to get the best lines, the best performance out of a script, you need to do things outside of film and video and marketing or whatnot, and doing something that helps open up white space. And what that means is your brain isn't thinking. What it is that it's in the present moment. And so can be active meditation, but it's also a really great way for you not to keep thinking about the thing that you're stuck on, the creative idea or the project or the pitch, but you start actually opening up your mind and your brain to new ideas, things you haven't even thought about before. Steve Jobs, he walked, right? A lot of people, they actually like to hike. Some folks play guitar. Other people like to dance. Sometimes people just watch reality TV shows or whatever it is. It's making sure that your brain isn't always active. And I'm not talking about going to sleep, but always active, thinking about the problem and the solutions to that problem. And I think you probably had that one idea come into your head in the shower before because you just weren't thinking. You were just taking a shower and all of a sudden it pops into in your head. So if you ever feel like you hit a creative rut and you're just editing this project and you're looking at the screen, it's been 8 hours and you need that boost of energy, or if anything, more creative ideas, do something else. You walk outside, maybe, do some push-ups, watch a comedy, watch an animation, do whatever it is outside of what you're working on so you can actually create some more innovative ideas from the white space, from the empty space when your brain isn't thinking so much about that one problem that you're dealing with. All right. Another thing too, I kind of mentioned it, is moving, exercise, All right. A lot of people I've talked to in the podcast exercise daily, or sometimes when they're in a creative rut, they go out for a run. They do some push-ups, they do some pull-ups, some burpees, whatever it is. It's that movement that actually just gets the blood flowing and the creative juices flowing. And it's really great for you as a person to not feel so sedentary, especially if you're a video editor, and it gets the blood going, it gets your energy going, and you actually start sending more fluid into your brain and makes you actually come up with better ideas. And sometimes it's just good to move around, because if you're just stuck in the same area or environment, you're actually just surrounded by the same things over and over again. You get uninspired. So go outside, go on a run, go to the gym, take some martial arts, go dance. You know, I do martial arts. I dance as well. And it's a really great way for me to get out of creative ruts. Also, for me to come up with new ideas. So I'm not just like another filmmaker who just watches films and just films all day. I'm a DJ, I'm a martial artist, I'm also a video creator, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I like to hike. All those things put together gives me range and makes me original and gives me more innovative ideas that other people who were just watching films didn't have, okay? Another thing too that I kind of mentioned is to clean your work area or change environments. Right? A lot of people I've taught to actually have a very zen work environment, whether it's candles or a little zen fountain, or it is a clean workspace and all there is just a notebook and pen. There's a lot of ways that people like to situate themselves in order for you to come into a more zen-like or a peaceful environment in order for you to come up with ideas. Although there are some creatives who like to be surrounded by, I wouldn't say chaos, but a lot of creative things, whether it's art or it's movies playing in the background or it's being at a coffee shop, whatever it is. What's your environment that will inspire you? And if you've been in an environment for too long, how about you change it up? I just did that today. I went to my office building. I went there and just worked, and I just went through all my to-dos, and I was able to just complete so much stuff because I wasn't here just working on the same thing over and over again with the same environment. It helps you kind of loosen up and also get more inspired with the new environment. And it just gets you going, because if you're just moving around and you're going between areas or locations, it really helps your brain kind of jumpstart rather than just knowing what's around you. Your brain knows what's around you, but if you're able to go to a new, let's say a cafe or a new co-working space, your brain has to, react to new people, to new things in the environment, and it just keeps you sharp. Okay. Another thing too is that people use music or no sound, right? Depends on how you're working, your workflow goes and what works for you. Okay. Some people love the noise canceling headphones and just putting on some classical music, jazz, lo-fi, hip hop, house music. House or whatever it is where it's just a beat and no vocals, I found has helped me out a lot, because if I have vocals, like if I'm listening to rap music or hip hop or R&B or whatever, I start getting lost in the lyrics, and that's just me. And so what I like to listen to is electronic music with no vocals, classical or jazz. And for you, it's all up to you. And sometimes people don't even have sound or music. They use noise canceling headphones or just earplugs to just drown out the world and just focus on what's the task at hand. And I like that as well. Sometimes when I'm meditating in the morning, I have noise canceling headphones, and I keep them on during my first 2 hours of work, because then it drowns out everything around me. So I'm able to just focus on what's in front of me. Okay. Another thing too is turning off notifications on your phone. I don't know if you're hearing this, but my alarm is going off in the other room. And for me, I hate my alarm. Okay. It's my digital assistant, but it is a necessary evil in order for me to just keep on track with the rest of my day. And I think that I've told people that my idea of freedom in the future is a life without alarms. But besides that, having no notifications or something popping up on your screen or on your phone, or people coming up to you and asking you for the approval for something, that distracts you from getting into your flow, from really settling in and having that time to really focus. I really do feel it takes me about 10, 15 minutes to get into that flow state, but it's not really until 1 hour, sometimes if I'm on set, till I'm really into it. With editing, probably 30 minutes. When I'm on set, about an hour. When I have to come up with ideas, sometimes I have to force myself, which is the next one we'll talk about. But turning off notifications on your phone, turning off alarms, turning off notifications on your tablet, on your computer, not being in an area where people are asking for your attention. If you have kids, if you have a significant other, or you're at a office building, whatever it is, if you need to get in the creative flow state, set apart a time where there's no distractions, no notifications, and it's just you and the task at hand. And that brings me to the last tip, which is actually scheduling the time and doing it. I think a lot of the creative professionals that I've talked to on my podcast all agree that it's all about just doing the work. Even if you're not feeling it, if you feel like it's not the best idea coming out of your brain, just do it. And if you do it on a consistent basis, you're able to train your brain and your body to actually come up with that energy, that creative energy to create those ideas or paintings or produce that song or track or shoot that TikTok video, whatever it is. Scheduling time to be creative and being consistent allows you to actually build that muscle of creativity and make it into a habit. And it's okay if you have shitty paintings or ideas or edits or videos or content. The reason that you are doing it is because you love it in the first place, and it's training, it's practice. Unless you have to come up with an idea for a client tomorrow, don't procrastinate and wait for that one time where your muse is going to find you and you're going to come up with the most innovative idea. No, just schedule time, turn off distractions and notifications, maybe put on that beat or that jazz, and then just focus, okay? Just do it. And I found myself that when I've just forced myself to do it, it actually helps me, basically stop worrying about if I'm perfect and just worrying if I'm going to execute. Okay, can you just get it done? Now, as you become that creative that just gets things done, that ships it rather than just holds on to your creative work, then you'll realize how much more prolific you are with your work, and also how you've trained your body to create decent, if not great, pieces of art on a consistent basis. All right. So hopefully that was really helpful. I know that it was kind of ethereal, it was kind of, subjective about creative ruts because everyone has their own ways of being creative. But this is based on 100 interviews with today's top creative professionals, and also on a lot of books that I've read about creativity and flow state and performing at your peak potential. And a lot has to do with just the basics of what I talked about today. Doing things outside of what you're doing, like exploring other cultures, doing other activities, doing things outside of your craft or the task at hand or your work or your project, so that you can actually open up the empty space in your mind, the white space, and allow for ideas to flow in. Okay, so stop just trying to gun through something 8 hours straight. I know we talked about just doing it, but there's also times where you just need to step away for 10 minutes and go, take a basketball and start dribbling it, whatever it is. Other thing you got to do is move around. Yeah, getting that movement, whether it's a walk or a run or push-ups or burpees or sit-ups, whatever it is, having that, or stretches or yoga. It's really great to get that blood flowing so that you get that energy to be creative. Also, cleaning your environment or changing environments or being in a more creative environment in order for you to come up with those ideas, and also for you not to get distracted, which is something that we talked about as well, about turning off notifications and not having alarms going off in the background or being distracted by your significant other or kids or your family or your employees. Just finding time to actually be in a very isolated place, if that works for you. Some people like coffee shops. Okay. Also, music or no music. Is it jazz? Is it hip hop? Is it electronic? Is it rock? Is it no music? Finding ways to get your mind right by using sound or not using sound has really helped a lot of people actually deal with ADHD. There's a lot of studies right now about certain brain waves and actually sound waves that actually gets your mind focused into different states. And that's why I believe in music, and some of my friends create these type of tracks or music or sounds that actually help activate these brain waves to get you focused. And the last thing is just scheduling time and doing it, okay? You can spend your whole week procrastinating on that Friday deadline, and then you come up on Thursday night and you're like, wow, I'm still not feeling it. Just get it done, okay? I know how it is. Sometimes I procrastinate as well. And it's just that whole idea of like, I'm not feeling it, I don't feel creative. Just make the time and do it. And you'll find ways to reach inside of you and come up with that one outstanding idea that's going to change the world and bring a whole bunch of money into your bank account. All right. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Thanks again for tuning in. This is the weekly download, and every single week I just give you tips and advice about running a video business, video production, and also content creation and video strategy and all that jazz. And I really appreciate you watching. And if you have any friends that you feel would find this helpful, please share this with them. And of course, like and comment below if you have any questions and if you want to hear any other subjects that I haven't touched upon. So I'm actually creating content that you want to hear. All right. If you can always ask me a question at my email, mitchel@videcontentschool.com, or you can DM me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.